Welcome to the Solid Signal podcast for the week of September 9th, 2019. This podcast is specifically for those of you who are listening for the very first time, and I hope there's a lot of you. I guess I'll know when the analytics come in. You know, even for our long-term listeners, I'll pass this bit of information along. This week of the year, with the first week of NFL Sunday Ticket, tends to be the busiest week of the year for the Solid Signal blog, and I like that. I like the idea that people are coming because they need help and that they're getting the support they need. They must, because about 20% of them do still stay around after the first week of Sunday Ticket, and they read the articles that are coming out every week. So I'm not trying to trade on other people's misery, just quite the opposite. I'm trying to make sure that the people get the help they need. And it's a little hard on our servers because there are going to be tens of thousands more people visiting, but that's good. Just to kind of bring you up to date, we are on, I think, the fourth version of our blog in the last 8 years. And every time we upgrade servers, we add capacity because the numbers just keep going up and up and up. And I'm very flattered by that. And I think that you're going to find, if you're a new listener, that the Solid Signal blog, blog.solidsignal.com, if you are finding this podcast some other way, it's full of not just tutorial content, but entertaining stuff, off-topic stuff. It is the number one company blog of its type, and I'm very pleased by that. I like to make sure that it is not just an informational place to go, but an entertaining one as well. And so let's kind of get started. Why did you come to the Solid Signal blog in the first place? Why are you listening to this podcast? Because of NFL Sunday Ticket. NFL Sunday Ticket, as I know I don't need to tell you, is the premier sports package in all of pay television. It's how people really get their TV fix, their sports fix for the year. Sure, there are a couple of streaming alternatives you can look at, and I suppose you can look at Fox and NBC, which run primetime games. They run one primetime game, a week each. And you can say, okay, that's some football. You can look at what your local channel is offering and say, yeah, that's some football. But if you're looking for every game, every Sunday, that's the slogan that was used for many years at DirecTV. The place to get it is NFL Sunday Ticket from DirecTV. But as I said, you already know that. So what can you expect from the Solid Signal podcast? You expect a lot of me talking because I'm the one who records all of it. I'm your host, and my name is Stuart. I'm also the author of most of the articles at the Solid Signal blog. You can expect a lot of off-topic stuff. Looking back at our podcasts, and I encourage you, because they're really only 5 to 7 minutes, most of them, listen to a whole bunch. And, they're not necessarily like time dependent. Most of them are not going to expire. So you can listen to old ones, and they're still going to work out for you. You get a lot of off-topic stuff. You get a lot of me being a big old grump and complaining about stuff, which really works out well for me and actually seems to encourage listenership. So I guess it works out for all of you as well. You get a lot of stuff as well at the Solid Signal blog. Like I said, you get a lot of off-topic content, stuff that I personally find interesting, and I think that a lot of you do as well. And while all of that is happening, you get a healthy dose of education about pay television and RF stuff and cell phone stuff and streaming stuff. That's why I call the Solid Signal blog the stuff that you need to know. I probably use the word stuff more than I should, but hey, what can I tell you? All in all, though, I want to say that I'm glad that you're here. I hope that you listen further. I hope that you pick up on a few of the older podcasts, dig through literally over 6,000 articles at the Solid Signal blog, and find some stuff that you like. I know that when a new visitor comes and they decide to stay, once they read that second article, they're likely to read about 100 articles in the following 2 months, which means that they're not only reading every article every day, but they're going back and looking at old stuff as well. It's quite flattering to me, and I'm very, very grateful for it. Just to say, hey, welcome to all of you, and enjoy the rest of your day. That's about it for the podcast for this week. And as I said, if you're a new listener, go back and listen to some of the older ones. There's a lot of weird stuff happening, and I think that you'll like it. If you're around and you just were listening to this podcast because you listen every week, hey, thank you. I do appreciate you, my longtime listeners. There are thousands of you, and I'm very, very glad that you're there. So all of you have a fantastic week, and I'll get back to you some more next time.